guys, as the title suggested, I'm going to do a video response to Drew, LeftyNDV10. I'm a big fan of his videos. I'm a friend of his off of the Facebook and YouTube pages, so I want to do a video response. Plus, it's a pretty cool contest he has going on, regardless of the prize, which I think is like a $25, basically just cash, like PayPal gift or something. But regardless of that, it's a cool way to show off some cards. It's non-relics, non-autos, mostly 90s stuff, but I have some stuff from a little bit pre-90s, and I think the newest thing I have is like year 2000. So it's supposed to be showing off 10 cards. I'm going to show off some cards you've definitely never seen before. Absolutely. I've never shown them, and some of them are pop 1, so you've never seen them anywhere ever because I've never shown them, and I'm the only person that owns it. So anyway, please stick around. Let me know what you think. Comment if you like it, like the video. So I know that you like the cards. I could do other versions of this for sure. So, somebody else had a contest that's similar. I could do this again. I have a ton to choose from, but I picked some of my favorite cards ever made with Griffey Jr. and some other people. So it's mostly Griffey. You will see some non-Griffies in this, especially toward the end. One of the biggest cards in my collection. So, all right, I'll be right back with first stuff. So 1993 Finest came out, and they invented the refractor. So you can see the base card on the left, the refractor on the right. This is card number 110 in the set. Give you a little closer look here. So it's nice coloring on the base, and then it had the refractive overlay on this one. It is short printed rather than serial numbered. It's very rare though. There's less than 500. I want to say there's 420, 430, something. It's an odd number that's easy to research online. I didn't look it up right before this video, but it's something in that ballpark. But it's very short printed. That is the first ever refractor set, 1993 Topps Finest. For this card, I had to move back a little bit. I'm actually doing this out of my little photo area here because it's the biggest card ever. Made by Pinnacle. It's a big version of the standard card, 98. I actually have an A-Rod version of this from the Mariners as well. Same card, just A-Rod. So if you're interested, I have that to move at this time. I'm making a video anyway. And something cool, you can see the little patch they wore that year, obviously, for Jackie Robinson to 50 years. Which I do have part of that patch in this Super Patch release. You can see there, Super Patch. So that's kind of cool. This will be the only game used card I show in this video, but it's more for comparison of the size of the card. You can see how huge that really is. This is the most simple, cheapest card I'm showing in this entire video. The reason being, it's just 1993 Leaf. It was a very easy to pull card. It's a nice photo on the front. I like the color variations. This is all about what are my favorites or what are impactful cards in the 90s or that general era of cards. And for this card specifically, my favorite thing, besides being a huge Griffey Jr. fan, obviously, and loving him with the Mariners, the Reds are fine too. I have no problem with him being in Cincinnati. He called it home. He went to high school there, so I understand that Cincinnati is home to him, so it works for me. I do prefer the Mariners, obviously. But my favorite thing, outside of sports card collecting and spending time with family and all that, is I love city skylines. So I've traveled to 48 of the 50 states. I love going to major cities, even though a lot of people, including myself, like their peace time, their alone time, maybe being out in the wilderness, something like that, being in the woods. I like that stuff too, but I love the look of skylines. And the 1993 Leaf set had beautiful skyline pictures on the back. That attracts me to that set. So I put that whole set together. It was probably the first set I ever hand collated as a child. The set wasn't that expensive to do. It was a lot of cards, hundreds of cards, like most of the old sets were, instead of 100 or 200. So it was very fun to put it together, and it's just beautiful pictures of skylines on the back of every card. So I'd recommend you check those out of your favorite players if you don't already have them. Definitely some innovative cards for the time. This is Upper Deck Collector's Choice, which as a child, this was kind of all I could afford to buy. This was maybe the most high-end type cards I could buy. This is in 1994 or 1995. I don't remember exactly. But around this era, I really started getting into... I was already buying cards. I mean, I really started taking any money I could get, whether it was a couple bucks or 20 bucks or whatever, and I would buy cards with every cent that I had, basically. So this is one of my favorite sets ever to buy. I loved busting these packs. There's a ton of different inserts. And the special edition, which just had the little blue SE stamp on it, I actually prefer that. So Collector's Choice came out, and then the Collector's Choice Special Edition, which was like $1 more a pack, I think. It was like $3.99 instead of $2.99, something like that. So I love this set personally myself. I love this picture. It's an action shot. That's my favorite jersey that the Mariners ever wore, was the teal or aqua one. So they had a couple different colors in there. But for me personally, that's my favorite. And this was the big chase card, was the gold autograph. Obviously, it's a fake autograph. It's a laser autograph. But there's silver autographs. There's no autographs like the one on the left, which is the base card version of this for comparison. But the gold was the massive chase card. Very, very rare. There's multiple cards, and you can see this is the All-Star one. There's multiple cards in that set, which I do have the other versions as well, which also all have a gold version, I believe a silver version, and a non-signature version as well. But this is my favorite from that set. 1995 Pinnacle gave us card number 2 in the set, Red Hot 2 and White Hot 2. The White Hot on the right, where it's blue and white, is one of my favorite card designs ever, for any price. Game used autograph, non-game used autograph, doesn't matter. That's just one of my favorite designs. As I've mentioned in other videos and in this video, that is my favorite jersey that the Mariners ever wore. That was around the peak of Griffey's career, mid-90s to late 90s, when he was just killing it and he was on fire. It was hard to throw a ball past him, and it was hard to hit a ball past him. So just the era was great for collecting, especially for being a guy like myself who's collected Griffey his entire career. That White Hot card is beautiful. Now the Red Hot is definitely nice. It's orange and red. Very nice card, but I do love that White Hot a lot more. Select did a lot of cool things in the 90s. So this is Select certified on both these cards, different versions. The one on the right is a mirror gold version, which is a parallel, and the one on the left is also a parallel gold team, which is a lot like the museum collection. It's kind of a starburst looking gold. So it's not refractor, but it's a gold foil, which is very nice. So I really liked the Select certified cards in the 90s. They did a good job really hitting out of the ballpark with different refractors and parallels and stuff. Different chase cards, as we'd call them back then. So a lot harder to find, especially if you're your own guy, because the sets were so big. But these couple gold cards, these really got me into that type of design around that time in 95. It's like, wow, these are huge chase cards. They're hard to find. If you can find them, they're really high priced. There's a lot of different versions of this, but around the mid-90s is when these types of cards, so to speak, really blew up, and every company was using some version of these. This is simply an insert from Fleer EX 2001. It's the 1998 set, I believe. I just thought it was cool because it's called Cheap Seat Treats, and actually that little block in the middle is a chair. Obviously it's fake, it's made out of cardboard, but it's a die-cut card. It's very intricate. That would actually fold out, kind of like a pop-up book. So if you pull the card out, which I've never done just to keep it mint, I've seen them fold down. Though. This little chair folds down to show Griffey's body and face behind it. I just always thought that was a pretty cool card. Unique design, definitely hard to put together, I'm sure. And what was my favorite set in the entire 90s? My favorite boxes to buy, my favorite cards to chase. The 1997, which is my preferred version. Oddly, it's called Don Ross Preferred. And 98 on the right there. These are the blue platinum versions, so they're both kind of the highest level of the base card parallels. So it's Executive Suite on the right. On the left, it's just called the platinum version, which obviously is blue. There's also a gold and a silver version, so all the cards kind of had that foil look to them. The 97 was, in fact, my absolute favorite 90s set. Again, I've bought a ton of them, and if you look on my YouTube, which you're on right now, my most watched video at the time of making this, which has 150,000+ views on it, was actually when I bought a box of these, a tin of these, like a master box, and there was no cards inside. I got scammed. So I did get my money back on that for you guys that have watched that and didn't know the outcome. Obviously, I asked for a refund and said, look, I videoed it too. I got scammed. The seller admitted fault and gave me back my money immediately, as they should do, because somebody was running a scam and got caught. So that's a good reason to video your breaks. But anyway, getting away from that, absolutely love this set. And these connect to a non-Griffey card that I'm going to show you at the end of this video. It'll be the last one. So keep watching. Pacific Trading Cards, which is one of my favorite 90s companies. They have since gone under. I think they went bankrupt, if I'm not mistaken. They made some of my favorite cards. They always had too thin a cardstock and a lot of foil chipping, so that's their biggest issues. But as far as designs, they were creative. As far as parallels, they were extremely competitive, creative, and often had the first, newest type thing on the block that was stolen by other companies. So really like those things. In this example here, you have the base card the gold prism and the purple prism. Gold out of 480 and purple out of 320. You can see them numbered on the bottom of the front. So that's just one of the card sets I love. There's obviously other versions out there which I either don't have or didn't find for this video. So I'm certainly interested in trading or buying any versions you have that I'm not showing in any of these sets. I'm not a huge rainbow collector, but I certainly like to pick up what I can that I don't have, especially if the price is right. You want to trade for something I have, PC for PC. It just makes sense for both of us. And I'll show you the 2000 set right now, which is similar, kind of the same take on it with a different design. Here's some from 2000. The cool thing with 2000, where I showed you 99, which I actually prefer the design of that. 2000, this shows Griffey in his red uniform for the first time. This was obviously from the press conference when he put on the jersey. This was before he actually ever played in a Reds game when his product came out. I think Aurora was the first product to ever have him in a Reds uniform. But this is pretty cool because it shows you some of the variations from that year. As you can see, a lot of different designs with the background, different waves and sparkles and bubbles and all that stuff. And some are numbered on the front, like the second one in to 400 or 480. I can't really see it from here. And the third one right in the middle is to 160. So a lot of different SPs and stuff. Just a great brand, a lot of great parallels. This card seems pretty simple. It's a score, the franchise insert. There was a lot of great cards. Football did a set of this as well. I love the football set. Had an Eddie George that I pulled, and it really turned me on to this set. So in the baseball, obviously the franchise, Griffey, just score, I believe 97, right around there, about 97, maybe 98. So the set was beautiful as is, but there's something secret about this card, which I showed on the Facebook YouTube group before. But if you're not familiar with it, I'm going to show it to you right now. Obviously, no 90s or earlier than 90s PC would be complete without the Ken Griffey Jr. Upper Deck Rookie. Upper Deck's first card, card number 1 in a set from 1989. And I do have it in Gem Mint 9.5, which is not his rarest card. This is, $200 to $300 in this grade. You can get it for $30 or less, not graded at all, which is a significant drop from where it once was. So it's definitely affordable for any collector. But I have some other cards that are rarer rookies that are also major brands. I'll show you right now. These 3 cards right here look like your average Griffey rookies that can be had for a couple bucks, maybe $10 in good condition, but these are not the regular version. All 3 are the parallel versions, and as Beckett and PSA Registry both calls them, some of the most important parallel cards ever made. Specifically the Griffey Jr. because the hype with the 89 and collecting was at all-time high at the late 80s, early 90s, and for many reasons, a lot of card companies went under, and a lot of card companies had some pushback because of the overproduction, which you guys watching this video would certainly already know this. But these versions were very short printed at the time by comparison. This is the tops traded Tiffany version. Tiffany was sold in a set, a Tiffany set. You could only buy it in a set, and it's said to be about 15,000 sets made. There are some people that say there's way less than 15,000. Nobody really says there's more than 15,000. So the approximation is 15,000 total sets. Very hard to get a good grade. They're all 9.5 Gem Mint, graded from Beckett as well, obviously. So that tops Tiffany on the left, about 15,000 sets. The Bowman Tiffany being the most rare of the rookies. That's out of 6,000 sets. So roughly 6,000 Bowman Tiffany sets were sold. And that obviously is hard to get because it's those longer cards. The Bowman 89, or most Bowman at that time, is a little bit longer than most cards. So it's really hard to get good edges, good corners on that set. And then the Fleer Glossy. The Fleer Glossy of the 3 is the easiest to determine if it's a glossy or not, which is like the Tiffany version of Fleer. So it's not really a glossy card. You can't really tell the difference looking at them side by side. They look basically identical. This, they said there's up to 30,000 sets. I've heard people say there was only 5,000 sets, but I don't really know how to confirm that. 30,000 seems to be the tops, not tops TOPPS, but like TOPS, top guess at how many sets were done. So I don't know that they were serial number necessarily, but 30,000, 6,000, 15,000. And on this Fleer, to give you a heads up, you can see it's a blue background. The regular Griffey rookie card has a yellow background. This one obviously has a blue background, or back of the card, not background, sorry. That's the easiest way to tell that. The 2 Tiffany's are much more difficult to explain. You can look those up, though, how to tell the difference. Very hard to come by, though. They're not serial numbered. They're not stamped. So you have to really know what you're looking for to pick these up. Obviously, I wanted to get each in a Gem Mint. And this card, for reference, now all these I've owned for years. I would say this is the most recent I picked up. No, maybe the Bowman Tiffany is most recent. But they've all been 2 to 6 years ago when I bought the cards. That was over $1,000, the Fleer. That was over $1,200, the Bowman Tiffany. And the Topps Tiffany was the bargain at like $550 or $650, somewhere in that ballpark. I think you can get this one for maybe a few $100 if you catch it on the right day. But that's certainly the cheapest of the three, most affordable of the three anyway, is the Topps Tiffany, Topps Traded Tiffany. I think they're all beautiful, huge pieces of my PC. Alright guys, made it to the end. Hopefully you're still watching because these are two of the biggest cards in the PC. And this is next to last card you're looking at right now. I pulled this myself. Both these last two cards I personally pulled and I got slabbed and graded myself. It is Eddie Murray's silver version. For you guys who are familiar with the set, this is the Don Ross Preferred set. I showed the two blue platinum cards, the base parallels of Griffey earlier. These are the precious metal preferred cards, precious metal gems. These are real stamped ink on top of a precious metal. It's 999.9%, 1 gram fine silver. You can see it printed right there. So it's actually a card made out of silver. They came already encased, which sometimes happens now, but is pretty rare for the time. This is the 97 set. I'll show you the edge where you can see. So besides the slab part, inside there you can see the plastic that it's in from BGS, and then inside of that plastic you see another plastic because it came encased. So if you see them not encased, somebody took it out like an idiot. And that card I've shown one other time in my videos. This card has never been shown to anybody but one person at a card show who's trying to complete this set. He has asked me a lot for this. Actually, this one person told another person that I have it. I was offered $2,500 cash for this card by a legit buyer who's a big dealer. So he offered me $2,500 and I said no instantly, which didn't shock him because it's so rare and it is a pop one. I don't know what the pop is on this one. This one's worth a little less because Eddie Murray doesn't have as many collectors. But again, pulled this myself. It is a pristine 10 Barry Bonds. This is, just like the other one was silver, this one is gold. 999.9 gram of gold. Barry Bonds in a pristine 10. Absolutely love this card. One of the best cards I've ever pulled. Maybe the best card I've ever pulled. And its value's gone up and down with Bonds' off-field type stuff. But it was thousands of dollars raw at one time, and now being graded the only pristine, it's been, obviously I had a $2,500 offer, so as far as what somebody offers you is what it's worth at least $2,500, and I turned that down. I am looking for, and have been looking for over a decade, the 97, which is this set, and the 98 Platinum Griffeys. Identical cards, just Griffey Jr., and he happens to be a Platinum guy. Everybody had a different precious metal, silver, gold, and platinum out of those short printed sets, which is 20 to 30 players in the entire subset. But I don't have the Griffey from 97 or 98. I don't need it graded. As long as it's in good condition, still in the original little encasement that it came in, I want it for the personal collection to keep forever. So that is my biggest chase card for Griffey that I do not have. I have Logo Man and one of ones and ridiculous patch autos and stuff, but this is the chase card I have, or want, the two Griffeys from 97, 98. If you have those, I would absolutely love to work something out. I will overtrade, I will do cash trade or whatever it takes. Most cards from this set sell a few $100s, the big guys, not graded, just regular condition, usually $200, $300, maybe $400 for the star guys. Griffey, he never comes up for sale, so I don't really know. Except for the people that already have the sets built, or most of a set. Nobody really has them as single cards. But that concludes my response to Drew's contest. I wanted to show off these cards. I'm happy I got to show off some of these cards, which nobody's ever seen. Thank you for watching. Check out Drew's page. Drew, sorry I did more than 10 cards and probably a very long video, but I think you will love this video, actually, because I know you're into these types of cards. Thanks, man.